Hey, what's up everybody? Prospector here with Watcher of Realms. I know there's been a lot of drama related to the Pantheon Demon Soldier buffs lately, and that's what we're here to talk about today. And I need your feedback, so stick around because I'm going to be providing it directly to the devs, and hopefully we get a good response. But anyways, without further ado, let's dig in. Okay, so just a little bit about this. So if you go down to the over to the Pantheon, you can have we have dragon scales, and then we have the dragon's domain. Now this is going to be a level. There's also going to be some extra events unlocked as well. So this is all going to be here for you if you want to be able to complete it. And that's not what the really question is for today. What we really want to talk about is, if you can see, as on my account right now, I diligently farmed the faction trials. Even if I had them completed after the first time, even my faction trials was maxed out completely up here at level 80 on the first one. Even now I still was farming every single faction trials there was every day. So if a faction trial was open, I was hitting it at whatever level I'm at. Now I don't have them all maxed out because there's new stages that have been added, but somebody like me who was diligent about that had received all of the insignias to complete and max out my Pantheon immediately when this buff came out, and patched it up so we could buff our demons. Now, as you can see, let me go back in because it's not showing me that results there again. Okay, here's the results page. So it added a ton of stats to the demons. All right. So we have attack plus 1400, we have attack bonus plus 14% on top of that, and then we have HP 180k. However that adds up, it's a lot of HP, I don't know. So all the demons are going to receive this HP bonus plus 14% on top of that. Now they did say in the last devs interview that we did last year that they wanted all the demons to be able to do very well against the heroes. The heroes were supposed to be at a disadvantage. You can build up your defenses as strong as you wanted, but in the end, they wanted the demons to have a really good shot at beating out those defenses. What they didn't want is that heroes or defenses have no way of being beaten. And there is some defenses out there for especially in the top end, that defenses were not able to be beaten. You just couldn't. There's just that's not going to happen. And especially not for your average player who doesn't want to spend, 8 hours or whatever with their guild trying to figure out the best attack and setting up defenses and not able to replicate the defenses that they're going up against, things like that. So what is the main issue here? Well, these demons here have become so strong with this patch here. Now that they're you look at my grotesque, for example. I don't even know what is he affiliated to. Hold on one second. Okay, he's affiliated to my Yovar. But we also have, here's the stats here. We have 5,657,913 HP. We have 35.8k attack. This guy at level 7 goes through the new Codgrim. He goes through any defense you can possibly think of. I think with the fact of this buff, he's super strong. Now, it's not just him that's a problem. I think he's one of the main issues that people get upset about, is that he received a big buff on top of it. He was already a most used demon that there is. I think that's kind of the first point, that some of these demons are already overpowered, and they just received a major buff on top of it without scaling them back a little bit to kind of equalize them a little bit. So what is the other issue? The other issue is that a lot of people didn't farm the faction trials, like I was saying, and some did. And now we have a clear breaking point where you kind of split everybody in half, right? So we have the high-end guilds that have, 50% of their players or whatever that continuously farm the Pantheon or the faction trials for insignias, while we didn't know that this buff was coming. So we didn't know there was a reason to farm those. And some of them did. So now you just split the high-end GVG guilds in half, or whatever percentage that's going to be. Now you have half of them that have this major buff, and you have the other half that doesn't, right? So why is that an issue? Well, I see a lot of guilds splitting up because of this. Maybe players are being kicked out because they can't keep up because their stats aren't as high as the other stats and the other heroes, other players or whatever. And it's just not being that good of a thing. So I'm going to go on to like problem number 3. it's gonna take you forever to get your Pantheon bonuses maxed out here. So level 40 is on the end here for your demons, and it's gonna create a further threshold for players to be able to compete at the higher level in guild versus guild. So they'd be kind of stuck down, further increasing the margin from the newer players, not like free to play versus pay to win, just newer players versus older players. Now, I personally kind of like some kind of advantage for players that have been playing for years. I don't think that new players coming in that just empty their wallets should win automatically because they spent the most money. The more we have advantages for players that are long term versus players that just spent the most money, I personally believe that makes a better game. So I think it's been a complaint for years in many games, not just gacha games like this, but any game that has any kind of pay to win mechanic, that they don't like the fact that if I play as hard as possible, there's no way for me to keep up with somebody that's just paying and spending money out of their wallet. But I do know that not everybody agrees with me on that. Some players think that, well, we just want to have the threshold. We don't have players that have been playing for years to have this kind of advantage. We want to be able to compete in GVG, and they wanted GVG to just be more of a level playing field, right? So if you farm like crazy, eventually you're going to be able to compete no matter how much money you spent or how long you've been playing. And maybe that's a good point. You know, we have a solution, and my solution is that I want to provide feedback as best we can to Moonton. In the past, Moonton has been very good about receiving feedback. I do know that they are aware of the GVG issue, but I do want to get your guys' opinions on this as a collective, not just one individual or two individuals with the loudest mouth in the room. I want to get it as a collective, silently. So anonymously, I want to get your guys' vote. So I'm opening a poll on prospector.gg. So let me change this over quick here. All right, here's prospector.gg. It is open for you. If you head over to prospector.gg, right on the homepage, there's going to be these news and updates section. Right now we have a featured hero there, which is Ruin Hollow, and we have featured articles, Smile 1 events, other stuff like that on here. So you can see like the blind box giveaway was updated here, whatever, Smile 1 updates, limited exclusive tier list, just a random news post that you guys can read if you like that kind of stuff. Feel free to stop by and check it out. But right at the top here, we have a featured article called GVG Pantheon Controversy, Vote Now. And this is here for you guys. So you're gonna head over to the page, we're gonna open it up, and it says I need your help because I'm looking for your guys' feedback. So I don't want to provide Moonton just my own opinion. I want them to know how you guys are feeling about it as well, and if it's really important to you, and maybe it kind of just goes all to one way. So Guild War Gladiators Gauntlet feedback poll, 1 submission per user, results unlock after you vote. The poll is going to end on January 19th is when I'm going to stop the poll and submit the results to Moonton, as well as try to push them for some sort of change here. Question 1. What do you think should happen to the Pantheon Demon Soldier buffs in Guild War Gladiators Gauntlet next season? Option 1 is keep them as they are. That means let the buffs stay there, let the insignia buffs stay there, the Pantheon level stay there, whatever your Demon Soldier is at right now in the current situation we're in right now, just leave it because you like it. Option 2 is adjust/nerf the Pantheon Demon Soldier buffs. Essentially, keep it there, but then bring it down a bit so it's not such a huge gap. Maybe if you feel like it's just too big of a gap and that's the real issue, maybe they could do something with that. Option 3 is remove the Pantheon Demon Soldier buffs entirely and refund the insignias, essentially just throwing it in the trash, completely throwing it in the trash. Question 2. Which one do you think is better? Set dragon scales and dragon domain to max for everyone, then rebalance attributes by scaling them down appropriately. Essentially, keep it the way it is, and then keep working on it to try to make it so the demons are more in flush with the heroes, and it's not such a major change. Maybe if there's some demons like Grotesque that are too high level, bring them down a bit so they actually make more sense. Maybe he shouldn't be able to just go in there and if you put a Grotesque out there, he just destroys Codgrim automatically, things like that. Number 2, remove all the Pantheon Demon Soldier related buffs and return all the insignia that were used. Pretty much just remove it all together, and that'd be the end of the end. Question 3, do you think all GVG defenses should be beatable? Yes or no? This one's pretty straightforward and pretty simple. Essentially, do you think that it should be possible for people to set up defenses that there's just no way to get through? You know, it's just impossible to get through? Or should it be set up so, you know, demons may be a little stronger, and that if you work hard or you're really good at GVG or whatever, that you can get through? I know there's a lot of you are going to claim like, I need defense so we can get through, but really how much time are you going to spend on doing your attacks? And you have to consider your average player. This is where I kind of become controversial, because I think your average player should be able to beat most offenses as long as their attacks aren't just completely crap. You know, if you just like throw down a bunch of spiders or something like that. But if you're doing some kind of like strategic like offense and it just doesn't seem like you can't even keep anything alive the moment they go into the threshold, they all just die and it's impossible to do anything with it, I think that's boring. Okay, so my opinion doesn't matter. I want your guys' opinion. So even if I don't agree with you or you're not seeing on the same page as me, this is what this is for. I'm not here to fight for what I want for GVG. I'm here to fight for what you guys collectively want. And let me know what you're thinking. If you scroll down a little bit further, you're gonna see that you can add comments to the page. I want you guys to go down here and provide feedback. If there's anything else that you'd like to provide some extra feedback in the comment section on the page. That way, when I forward this to Moonton, they can actually read through that and keep that in mind. They might read through that, or most likely, and get kind of a feel of where you guys are at. So don't just vote and then provide some feedback below in the comment section as well. But anyways, that is all I have for today's video, guys. I didn't mean to babble quite so much. I wasn't really sure on how to present this to you guys. I wanted to make sure that you didn't get the feeling that I was trying to push you one way or the other. And I wanted to make sure that you understand that I'm here to help provide feedback to Moonton based on what the players want. By doing this, I think we can help avoid any kind of issue between content creators and player base, where we make sure that the majority of players are getting their voices heard. And it will be heard, believe me. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure to check out prospector.gg. We're just talking about that the whole video, so I'm sure you will. Make sure you join the Discord. You want to have a little conversation with people about it in there. Feel free. Plenty of stuff on there, including the prospector bot that gives you builds whenever you need them. Be sure to share this video as well to help get as much feedback as possible. The more engagement we get, the more likely the feedback is to be heard. Anyways, I've been the Prospector. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep digging.